I'm having a nice cup of tea out of my favorite cock mug. What? Don't make it weird. It has a rooster on it, can't you tell? How come it won't focus? Anyway, if you recognize this mug, that means you've been watching my channel for at least a year, so cheers to you. Oh, that's so good. It's perfect tea drinking weather. It's a nice fall day. I'm in Minnesota. I'm at a truck stop doing a 34, and I have an update. I did accept another position. Yes, it feels weird to be switching jobs so soon after switching jobs, but I think most people who watch my channel totally get this, so it doesn't really need to be explained. But I know there's some people who watch it who are maybe less familiar or newer or interested in the industry or whatever it is. It's not that unusual to change trucking jobs in a quick succession. In this case, what was kind of weird is I came back to a company I had left previously, and I thought that it was going to be a different experience this time because I was going on to a flatbed account when previously I had been on a van account. And the account I was on when I first was here was very much a beginner, new CDL person type of account, which is Midwest regional van. It doesn't get any easier than that. You're driving in mostly flat areas. The weather, yeah, you have the winter weather to contend with, but a lot of the areas that you're going through are places where the roads are maintained in such a way that you don't really have to stress too much about winter weather. You know when it's just not appropriate to be on the road. But maybe it's because I've lived in the Chicago area for so much of my life and driven here that I don't get too thrown off by winter driving, because I know it's just a matter of slowing down and not being on the road when it's not safe to be on the road. To me, it's not that complicated. It's the other drivers that don't have a grasp on the realities of physics that cause the problems. And those are the trucks that you see in the ditches lining the highways when weather is weather. Anyway, oh man, this is so good. It's kind of cloudy out. It's cloudy and sunny at the same time. Maybe there's a rainbow somewhere. And I happen to like this Love's. It's not the same one I was at before, but I've been at this one a few times, and it's really large. It's very clean. I got here, I took my shower, I did a load of laundry, and now I'm just kind of chilling. I'm gonna edit a little bit of video, but this angle is kind of weird because there's not currently a case on my phone because I had a mishap yesterday. All right, that's better. I had a mishap yesterday. I was getting some film of doing this securement job on the trailer that I have on me right now. And it involved a lot of climbing, and I had the phone up on a tripod, and it was windy, and it's like a flimsy tripod, and it blew over, and immediately just the phone fell face down pretty hard on the asphalt. Thank goodness I had a good quality screen protector on the phone because it saved the screen. The screen would have been ruined. So yeah, I am starting at another company next week. I'm finishing out this run. They actually gave me the option to not do this run after they had already assigned it. They're like, we can reassign that one and get you on a different run to get you back to the terminal and turn your truck in earlier if you want to. And I was like, it's right before the weekend. You guys already put me on a run that I can get some miles on. I've been sitting so much, I need to make a little bit of money, so let me just do this run, and then you guys can get me a load going back. And they said that was fine. So I was already, when I'm in go mode, I don't like to change the plan. I want to just finish out the way we had it set up and let's just go, you know? And then I have to tell you what was funny is that then my fleet manager calls back a little bit later, and you can tell that his boss told him, like, you need to try to keep this driver in the company somehow. He's like, would you want to move over to the van account? I almost laughed. I was like, bro. So basically it's like, do you want to take a pay cut? Do you want to make 10 cents less on that account per mile and also probably spend a bunch of time sitting? No, thank you. I don't think so. Are you crazy? And it's funny because it's like the only reason I came back to this company was because I wanted to do the flatbed thing, and it was a good location, and I knew that there were good systems in place in the company in terms of like their communication, the fact that there's always people available to answer the phone. And I had been at this small company that just didn't have that level of organization because it was so small, and I feel like they were very understaffed. That company, it was like they were forcing their existing employees to do the work of like 5 people each. At least my fleet manager was doing way more than I think she should have had to do. So this company, they have some good stuff in place. They have some good people in place, but giving me the excuse of there's not enough freight or whatever over and over again is not a reason. Like, you just hired me. Why did you hire me? And why is it that when I go back to the terminal, I see another crop of people training for flatbed? So that means there's going to be even more people out here who are sitting on their butts, right? Like, what's the deal with that? You know, those who know more about how the industry works can probably do the math and say, well, they are hiring more people than they currently need, so that when things pick back up, they'll have those people kind of waiting in the wings, the people who don't get fed up like me and just quit. In the last couple of days, I spoke with 2 other drivers who were also running curtain sides, because we were at like the same pickups, and they were both drivers who had been here for about a year, and they both told me that they were having the same kinds of frustrations, and that they were just like, forget this. You know, one of them told me, he was like, this is actually my last run, they don't know it yet. I was like, yeah. You know, it's like they just plan on the turnover. It's that cynical kind of business model. So I'm not going to go on and on about it. I've already complained enough. I'm not trying to do that. It's unfortunate, and I don't love the upheaval. I'm bummed that I have to give up this truck because I really like it. It's a nice new truck, but the company that I'm going to is known for having nice trucks and for maintaining things very well. It's also in the Chicago area, which is important to me. I do want to be close to that. I'm going to be running a national van account. I'm super bummed to go back to van after just getting a little bit of a taste of flatbed. It's so much more fun for me to do this type of work. It's like there's a whole element of physicality that I absolutely love. But what I'm telling myself now is I need to make a living right now. I've been basically for the last month not able to do that between the training time and then barely driving. So now it's time to just do whatever I need to do to make the money I need to make, and then we can revisit. I'm actually looking at I'm noticing other curtain side companies are like Conestoga's, and I'm like, I wonder where they're based out of. I wonder if they're hiring. I think a lot of the Conestoga companies, flatbed companies in the region that I'm in, like in the general Chicago region, I think a lot of them tend to go into Canada and are like more northern states and stuff. I'd be interested in doing anything like that. I am open to whatever opportunities come my way, and that's something that I'll think about for sure in the future, because I really enjoy that kind of work. I love the challenges of it. I love that it's on a slightly different level. I feel like van and reefer are just about grinding. They're just about driving your ass off, and that's all well and good, and some people prefer that, and that's cool. No judgment. In trucking, you have to find the niche that fits you and what you like to do, what your goals are, because as I've said from the beginning, those of you who have followed my trucking adventures from the beginning know that I'm not solely driven by money. Money's important to me, as you know, it's a necessary evil, but I also am very driven by enjoying my work, and I'm very physical, and that's why I'm very drawn to types of trucking that involve some type of physical element. So the company that I'm going to is gonna work my ass off. They have a minimum mileage expectation. They're not gonna have me sitting around. It's kind of gonna be the opposite, I think, which is fine. Run me, man. That's cool. I'm ready. I appreciate all of the really good feedback, encouragement, suggestions that you guys have offered. I have some great viewers that just really seem to care about, like, recognize that I'm hustling and respect the hustle as I respect your hustle, those of you who know what we're all going through. And it means a lot, though, to have people even just like take the time to make a suggestion, because there's a lot of wisdom out here in trucker world. A lot of people have a lot of experiences that can benefit others, so thank you for sharing those. And the next company, I'm not going to be doing 2 weeks of training. It's going to be 2 days of training, and then I'm going to be on the road, and I'm grateful for that. They're not trying to mess around. They're trying to make you drive, and I'm ready to drive. It's going to be, I think I said, a national account, East Coast, but not New York City, so that's cool. I don't mind running east. I just don't want to live there. Hopefully I won't, but they said a lot of their work is in the Midwest, so that's kind of home. That's fine with me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to tell you guys. I'm running this, the load that I have on me right now is a load of doors that delivers to 4 different destinations. Today is Saturday, so tomorrow I'm gonna do the 34, and then Monday morning is the first delivery about 30 miles away from where I'm at now. And then I have another one in South Dakota, and then Iowa, which I've been in Iowa for a little bit, so I'm looking forward to that. Beautiful state. And then to Nebraska, and then who knows, somewhere that leads me back toward Northwest Indiana. I always say it wrong. Anyway, cheers. Clink. Dude, I have to add something I totally forgot. Yesterday was the weirdest day ever. I went to pick up this load it was at that place where they sent me like on the first day I was working to do a bunch of like unpaid drop-in hooks. So I had to go pick up this preloaded trailer and secure it, and I could not connect to the trailer. It was like not connecting, and I was really confused. I kept like backing into it, and then I lowered the nose of the trailer because I thought maybe it's a little too high. It doesn't look like it. It wouldn't connect. And then I noticed that, I'll show you a picture. I noticed that this blue airline was disconnected underneath the fifth wheel, and I was like, does this have something to do with it? And why is this hose disconnected? That doesn't look right. So I contacted maintenance right away at our company, and I was like, yeah, there's something weird going on here. I can't connect to this trailer, and this airline is disconnected. I noticed then when I got under the trailer that one of the airbags looked deflated. I was like, okay. So they ended up sending me to a Freightliner dealership that thankfully was only like 10 miles away, and they said they can get you in right away, because when it's a brand new truck that the company just bought, I guess they prioritize them. So they got it in pretty fast. The whole ordeal still took a couple of hours. Even something in and out, you think it should be quick, is never quick when it comes to truck maintenance. Never. That I know, so I don't even, I'm just like, okay, I got a break. Then when I had the tractor just bobtailed out from under the trailer completely, because it had been kind of underneath the trailer, so I could kind of see everything, but not that well. Then I saw, when I got a better look, I saw that there was actually a rip in the airbag, and there was this red piece in part of the, where that blue airline was supposed to go. So the blue airline in that case was part of the suspension air system. I'm not going to try to explain that because I would probably explain it wrong, but what I can say that I think is correct for those who don't know about truck stuff, and someone correct me if I still say this all wrong, is that there's an air compressor in the truck that both supplies air to the brakes, to the air brakes, and also to the suspension system that uses airbags. So this was part of the suspension system that was compromised. And what was interesting is I'm like, should I say who this was? Yeah, what the hell? Dirk figured it out immediately, because Dirk is really smart. And when I told him what it was and I sent him a picture, I was like, look, this weird thing is going on. He was like, oh, he thought about it for a minute. We were kind of going back and forth. He's like, I know what it was. So this is how he explained it. You know how when you see trucks going down the road, I feel like this is always Freightliners I see doing this, and you see them they're hauling, like the truck itself is hauling like two other tractors. And apparently, by the way, you have to have a doubles or triples endorsement in order to do that, because that's what they're considered. But the way that works, which I didn't know this, is they daisy chain the air system from the tractor that is hauling, that is towing basically the other two tractors. They daisy chain them together. So that's what they had done. And this tractor had 1,900 miles on it, 1991 to be exact, when I first drove it. And the manufacturer is like in northern Mexico. So I was like, that makes sense. That mileage makes sense. So he's like, this was the tow truck. This was the truck that pulled the other ones. I was like, that's totally makes sense. So when it got to the Freightliner dealership, they didn't correctly however you would redo that, where you undaisy chain the lines and then reset it the way it was supposed to. Someone didn't do that right, apparently. I don't know. It's weird because it's like all these things were happening, but none of them were exactly related, because the thing where I couldn't connect to that kingpin on that trailer, the mechanic I talked to said that wasn't related at all. And at the Freightliner dealership, the guy tried to connect the tractor to their test trailer, and he's like, yeah, I just did it like 6 times, it's totally fine. I'm like, okay, well, why would he need to do it 6 times? But whatever, we'll let that go. I went back after going to this dealership and getting this airbag. They replaced the airbag. Thankfully they had one on hand, because they were worried that they might not. They got all that squared away. I drove back to the place to pick up the trailer, and I couldn't connect to it again. And I was like, what is the deal? And there was another trailer sitting in front of it. So I connected to that trailer. It's like, okay, let me try it. Let me see, because I called maintenance at the company, and they're like, it's not going to be anything wrong with the trailer. So it would have to be something with the tractor. I was like, what the hell? I connected just fine to the other trailer, and then I went back to the first trailer and I connected to it. And I was like, I do not understand. Like, I know how to couple with a trailer. I have no understanding of why it wasn't. It was like the locking jaws just weren't going around it. And I knew immediately, because you can hear the sound. You get used to what it's supposed to sound like, and it didn't sound right. So I gently start to pull forward, not even trying to do the tug test, because I know it's not even connecting. So I just try to slide back out. Sure enough, it was weird. It was a real weird thing. Anyway, that was all the weird stuff that happened yesterday before I got to start doing this crazy securement job, and that was just taking my time. I'm listening to my podcast and laughing and talking to this other driver and just taking my sweet ass time. I was like, all right, I don't have very many miles to run anyway. I might as well enjoy my day. So that's kind of what I did. But yeah, it was a real weird day. I just wanted to tell you guys all that. Sorry, this is an interlude in an already long story. There you go. Hello. So this is what will be one of the last probably 2 loads that I do for this company. And I just want to show you guys what I'm doing. So I'm standing in the top of a trailer. This is a load of doors. I'm standing in the nose of the trailer, and this is going all the way back. So I'm standing on these doors and I'm about to be securing. This is going to be a pretty time consuming task, especially for me, especially because I'm doing this right now, but it's unpaid. It's totally unpaid. So this is a good illustration of why if you work for a company that doesn't give you any type of payment for securement, and then also the only runs that they're giving you are super short runs, it just totally makes no sense, because you're doing a whole bunch of labor for free basically. So also one thing that's kind of crazy about this is you're going to see that's the ground down there. I'm right now, I'm 13.6 is the height of the trailer technically, although whatever, I'm just gonna leave it at that. 13.6, let's say for shits and giggles, this is 13.5 feet. I'm standing up off the ground level, and I'm gonna have to get straps up around this load. I took it out of cinematic so you could see it a little bit better. So you're gonna see I have to get straps up over the top of all of that stuff, and I have to climb around on it, and some of it is at the height where it's basically almost the entire height of the trailer. So that's the kind of stuff you have to do without a ladder, although it would be smarter if you did have one, but the company certainly doesn't supply that, and it's definitely not the safest thing in the world to be doing. So I'm going to be careful and put my phone away, but I just wanted to share that, this is the kind of stuff that drivers go through so you can have doors. This is a truckload of doors. This is how it works. I've got 4 stops on this run. They're all short distances. The pay is not going to be very good for it, and it's a whole bunch of work. So that helps illustrate why I'm leaving this crazy job. And just showing here, this is the edge that I have to climb along in order to get the straps up there. So, yep, that's what we're doing. Good times.
Be explosion. Be chocolate. Be explosion.